Hey everyone, welcome to this first hands-on lesson of the course. If you've just unboxed your router, one really quick reminder to hang on to the plastic twist tie here that I have. It's what holds the power supply together, and we're going to be using this guy later on in the course for a little bit of a hack to get a connector connected without soldering. So make sure to hang on to this, just set it off to the side and hang on to it. So in this lesson, we're going to be taking a look at our TP-Link router. That's going to be the target that we are hacking on and doing testing on throughout the course. Now, the one that I'm working with and the model that we're going to be using throughout this, if you just want to double check, it is a TLWR841N. And I've chosen this model to be our target for a couple reasons. One of the main ones is it's very cheap at about $20. And it also has a lot of what some people will call features, other people would call security misconfigurations that can help us to learn about hardware hacking and some of the things that we can take advantage of. Now, in order for us to get access to most of these hardware hacks or any of the testing, we're actually going to have to open this device up. So we're going to be in this video taking a look at how we can do that. In order to do so, we are going to need a couple of tools. So one of them is going to be a Phillips screwdriver. I've just got a set here of small screwdrivers, which includes a Phillips screwdriver. And then we're also going to need something to pry this open. So I've got two here, what are called spudging tools, and they are used to pry open electronic devices like this. Now, you'll see this in many electronic devices where it uses what's called a pressure fit to snap together. So this one's got a couple screws in the back, and I'll just flip it over to show you that right now. So we've got two screws here in the back, and once we take out these screws though, it's still not going to come apart. It's actually going to be held together pretty tightly. And the reason for that is most of new electronic devices these days use this pressure fit. So even things like your phone, if you've ever had to take that apart to get your battery out, or laptops, they use this pressure fit. And these spudging tools are specifically designed to open that. The nice thing about them is they are also not conductive, so we don't have to worry about any type of shock discharging into our components or shorting anything. Pick these ones up off Amazon for pretty cheap, but if you don't have any or don't have access to them, you can use a small flathead screwdriver. So I've got one right here. The only thing with these is to keep in mind they are metal, so we don't want to make sure we're not shorting any of the circuits. So try and be careful when we are using them, not to insert them too far into the router themselves. Okay, with that out of the way, let's take a look at how we can open up this router. So the first thing to do is just to pop these screws out. So I'm going to do that right now. If you haven't done so already, also these antennas just fold down. It's much easier to work with them if you fold them crisscross like I have here. And we'll just take these screws out. So even with these screws taken out, you'll see the router is still actually together pretty strong. Even though I'm pulling on it with my hands, I can't quite get it open. So this is where that spudger tool comes in handy. On this router specifically, I find it's easiest to, if I just move these antennas out of the way for a second, it's easiest to get started. We can kind of slide in here with your tool and pry open. So that's where I am going to start on mine. And if you just get the tool in and just give it a little pry, you can see mine has popped right open, and I still have it. It's a little bit stuck on the ends. Here, I'll flip it up so you guys can see. Still stuck here on the end, so this is where this tool comes in handy. You can just try and pry along. If I just use my hands a little bit, we can just work it along the edges. I'm going to come back to this side here. There we go. Okay, so the one thing you will notice when you're doing this, and you may have heard it there on camera, As we do get some kind of snapping, and it does sound like it is breaking a little bit. That is to be expected when you are working on these pressure fits. That snapping is okay. You'll notice like nothing on here actually broke. I've got no broken plastic, and if I wanted to, I could just snap this back together by just pushing it back together. Just going to set this out of the way here. All right, so we now have our router open and we can start taking a look at working on the internals. I'm going to pause this video here and we'll pick up in the next one where we start taking a look at the internals, and we'll also chat about how to safely handle electronics and make sure that we don't have any electrostatic discharge. That wraps up this video. I will see you over in the next one.